Have you ever heard of the Bab-el-Mandeb or the Gate of Grief? This might seem like an obscure question, but this narrow strait of water is actually an essential part of our world's intricate web of trade and history. The Bab-el-Mandeb, translating to the Gate of Grief, is located between Yemen on the Arabian Peninsula and Djibouti and Eritrea in the Horn of Africa. This geographical nexus is a meeting point of continents, where the Red Sea merges with the Gulf of Aden and the wider Indian Ocean. But it's not just the convergence of water bodies that makes this strait noteworthy. The Bab-el-Mandeb is one of the most critical choke points in the world for international trade. It's like the gatekeeper of the Red Sea, controlling the flow of goods and resources from the Indian Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea. Every single day, millions of barrels of oil pass through this strait, journeying from the oil-rich nations of the Middle East to the energy-hungry markets of Europe and America. But the significance of the Bab-el-Mandeb extends beyond the realm of contemporary economics. This strait has been a crossroads of major civilizations for centuries, a silent witness to the ebb and flow of power, the rise and fall of empires. Since ancient times, it has served as a strategic passage for merchants, explorers, and conquerors, linking the cultures of Africa, Asia, and Europe. The strait has seen the passage of pharaohs and Persians, Romans and Ottomans, British and French colonial powers, and now, the massive cargo ships of our modern world. Every ripple in its waters echoes with the tales of human ambition and strife, trade and exploration, conflict and cooperation. As we delve deeper into the story of the Bab-el-Mandeb, remember this: it's not just a geographic location, it's not just a strip of water squeezed between the arid landscapes of Yemen and the rugged terrains of Djibouti and Eritrea. It's not just a conduit for oil tankers and cargo ships. The Bab-el-Mandeb is a gateway to a rich and complex history. The Bab-el-Mandeb is not just a piece of geography, it's a crucial piece in the global political puzzle. This narrow strait, nestled between Yemen on the Arabian Peninsula and Djibouti and Eritrea in the Horn of Africa, has been a hotbed of political tension for decades. The Bab-el-Mandeb, which means Gate of Grief, has earned its name due to the conflicts and disputes that have been centered around this strait, the most significant of which is the ongoing Yemen civil war. The Yemen Civil War, a complex and devastating conflict, has been raging since 2014, ensnaring not just Yemen, but also its neighbors and global powers. The Bab-el-Mandeb has been a critical strategic point in this war. Control of this strait allows for control over the Red Sea, a significant trade route for oil and commercial goods. But the political implications of the Bab-el-Mandeb extend beyond just Yemen. It's a key geopolitical choke point, a location where a significant amount of maritime traffic must pass. It's one of the world's busiest shipping lanes, connecting the Indian Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea via the Suez Canal. Control of the Bab-el-Mandeb has significant implications for global power dynamics. It's a power play between countries and regions, a game of chess on a global scale. Who controls the Bab-el-Mandeb controls the flow of goods and resources, with direct influence over the economies of countries that depend on these trade routes. In particular, it's a crucial point of interest for the United States and China, both of whom have established military bases in Djibouti, a small nation located at the western edge of the strait. It's a testament to the strategic importance of the Bab-el-Mandeb, a tiny strait with a significant impact on the world stage. Control over the Bab-el-Mandeb is a high-stakes game played on the global stage. The world's economy pulses through the veins of the Bab-el-Mandeb. This narrow strait, the Bab-el-Mandeb, is more than just a geographical landmark. It's a critical economic artery, a pathway to prosperity for some, and a potential choke point for others. Its importance is underscored by its role in oil transportation, a lifeblood of the global economy. Imagine, if you will, a bustling highway, but instead of cars and trucks, it's filled with massive oil tankers, each carrying millions of barrels of crude oil. This is the Bab-el-Mandeb, a maritime superhighway connecting the oil-rich Middle East to the energy-hungry markets of Europe, Asia, and beyond. Every day, millions of barrels of oil traverse this strait, making their way from the oil fields of Saudi Arabia, Iran, and other Middle Eastern nations to refineries all over the world. This is no small matter. In fact, the Bab-el-Mandeb is one of the most significant choke points for the global oil trade, alongside the Strait of Hormuz and the Suez Canal. Now consider the implications of any disruption to this strait. An unexpected closure, a sudden blockade, or even a mere threat of conflict can send shockwaves through the global economy. Oil prices could skyrocket, stocks could plunge, and nations could find themselves on the brink of an energy crisis. The impact isn't limited to oil though. The Bab-el-Mandeb is also a crucial route for global trade, with countless goods passing through its waters every day. From electronics and cars to food and clothing, the strait is a lifeline for global commerce. So what does this all mean? It means that the Bab-el-Mandeb isn't just a strait, it's a vital cog in the machinery of global economy. Its stability is not just a regional concern, but a global one. Any disruption to the Bab-el-Mandeb could have far-reaching implications affecting everyone, everywhere. The Bab-el-Mandeb is a vital lifeline for the world's economy. Why is it called the Gate of Grief, you may wonder? The answer lies in the treacherous journey mariners must undertake to traverse this narrow strait. The name Bab-el-Mandeb translates from Arabic to Gate of Tears or Gate of Grief, a somber moniker that encapsulates the inherent dangers of navigating these waters. The strait's narrow width, just 18 miles at its narrowest point, combined with strong currents and unpredictable winds, make it a perilous passage for even the most experienced sailors. These natural hazards have led to numerous disasters throughout history. Ships large and small have succumbed to the strait's powerful currents, winds, and the fickle nature of the sea. The treacherous waters have swallowed countless vessels whole, leaving nary a trace behind but for the tears of those who mourn their loss. One of the most tragic incidents occurred in the late 20th century, when a passenger ferry capsized in the strait due to high winds and rough seas. Hundreds of lives were lost in an instant, their hopes and dreams submerged in the unforgiving waters of the Bab-el-Mandeb. This disaster, along with countless others, underscores the deadly seriousness of the strait's nickname. Furthermore, it's not just the physical dangers that lend the strait its grief-stricken name. The Bab-el-Mandeb has been a stage for geopolitical strife and conflict, its strategic importance making it a coveted prize for nations near and far. The resulting struggles have caused untold suffering and loss, adding another layer of grief to the gate. The Gate of Grief is not just a name but a stark reminder of the perils of the sea and the human struggle for control. It is a testament to the countless lives lost, the ships swallowed by the sea, and the relentless human spirit that continues to brave its waters despite the risks. The Gate of Grief lives up to its name, a testament to the perils of the sea and the human struggle for control.